Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them.
It's Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and follow us on the big three: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Noize Podcast. And of course, you can follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Well, we're trying something new.
Yeah.
After the success of Cognac Conversations, which again, we got to thank you, Ear Hustlers, about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've noticed a demand for more visual type podcasts.
Right.
Well, honestly, it was more live podcast, but that's obviously something that we can't necessarily do like
Not yet.
all
Not
of the
yet.
time.
Right,
Not just
right.
yet. We're making it there. However, we are starting this new visual podcast, something for the YouTube watchers. So that way, everybody normally deals with that issue of like YouTube closing out when they're listening to something. But now, you know, they can just sit back and watch the noise.
Chill, right, yeah.
So this is a new thing for us. Let us know what y'all think about it. We're actually going to put a lot of time and effort into it. And yeah, I'm excited for everything going forward.
Yeah. Just rock with us for a bit. We got
Absolutely. No major announcements, which is a blessing at the moment. We've actually been having a really, really good fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, man, we got more stuff coming, and we're really looking forward to sharing that with the Ear Hustlers and everybody that's just been following us this entire time. So I know I have a bit of a long "How was your week?" story, but we'll start with you, Kev. How was your week, sir?
Same as usual, boring. Like I mentioned earlier, I like trolling Trump supporters or white people of that type of caliber. I think
From
it's
that
fun.
place.
And it's never nothing where like I'm trying to get, a reaction out of. I mean, yeah, I guess so, but not like maliciously.
Right.
Like I'll say something that's
Which is
very logical.
weird, 'cause that's the only way they respond.
True. But I'll say something that's very logical, like it was something where the last thing I did where it was something about, remember Trump called himself a nationalist or something like that? Somebody tried to spin it. It was like, oh, this person calls themselves a nationalist and then tried to say Trump said it. I was like, no, Trump actually did say it. So it's usually factual stuff, you know what I mean? But it's fun to do. It's fun to do. I haven't gotten no reaction or no reply back yet. But
of course not.
But it's fun to do because my picture, like I'm the only black person that'll comment and say some shit. But again, it's not. It's all actual shit, whether they want to admit it or not. So
right.
Other than that, my week has been chill. I haven't done nothing crazy this week. Oh well, I played basketball for the first time since May.
And how'd your back hold up out there?
No, my back was cool. My back is the few times that I have played since then. My back has been cool. But usually when I've been playing, it's been like minor shooting around or 2-on-2 or something like that. Wednesday was the first time I actually did like a full game 5-on-5, and I'm not as bad as I thought I would be. You know what I mean?
But are you as good as you once was?
No.
That's very.
The way I explained it to you
adult of
earlier is if hoopers, if you got 10 people, just 10 people in the gym, you trying to run fives, and one of those people you don't really want to play with, but you need this person to make 10. I am that person. I am
You're the one with the yo-yo off to the side.
Yeah, I am definitely that person.
You want me to play?
Right. I mean, eventually as I start to do it, then I can get back to how I was before. But as of right now, today, I'm trash.
Now, I do want to put out there that the agreement has already been made. Kev is willing to take $100,000 to go to Vince McMahon's WWE and go through a table.
Listen.
Now, we got to get your back right. We got to get you athletically ready. I got to get myself athletically anything. So whenever you're ready to do this.
Well, see, I guess it's kind of not really the case with my back. Like my back, yes, it is bad, but it's not as bad as some people think. As far as that goes, like I said, it would be a lot to go into that. Like, number one, I got to make sure we're going to win this match.
Absolutely.
Like, we got to win. We can't just go out there, get our ass beat and go home. We got to win.
It's got to be in the contract.
Right.
I need that Floyd Mayweather contract.
Exactly. Number two, I got to make sure it's scripted. I'm not just going to get out there and just let you beat my ass and that's just that.
I don't think there's any other way to really.
I know that. I don't think there is either, but we're in 2018. Who knows?
They're just going to go off the cuff.
Right. Who knows?
Oh, shoot.
But for 100, I would say for 100K, I consider it.
Nah,
I can't say I jump into it, but I consider it.
You throw me 100,000, I want entrance music. I want pyro. Matter of fact, I need to come. I need to be ziplining from the roof.
No, we seen how that happened. We don't want that.
You know what my entrance music is gonna have to be? I need some exciting shit. I need can't be touched, can't be stopped.
Yo,
I need Roy Jones Jr. and the Body Headbangers.
Yo, when that album dropped, I believe I was like either a freshman or a sophomore around that time. Bro, one of our players played that fucking album every day before.
But did they play Y'all Must Have Forgot? No, that was on his first album.
I don't know. Either way, they played all the shit. And at the time, he was like, before a game, he was like, okay, I can rock. Now I'm like, bro, you really play that shit.
Turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Put on Phenomenal. Give me something.
So Phenomenal is one of them.
Phenomenal's definitely one of those songs.
That was one of my shits. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But other than that, man, my week has been chill. My week is just, it's been a week.
Good. I mean, like, again, man, chill is good. I always tell people no news is good news.
Yeah. I haven't no crazy news or nothing like that. Nothing. Nah. My week has been okay. It's been more so of a mental thing. Like I've learned. Well, I knew this, but I've learned for sure that I do not like writing scripts like on paper and pen. Like like a story, cool. You know what I mean? It's cool, but the formatting that goes into a script, I don't like doing that.
That sounds like hella work.
Yeah, because you don't just write the dialogue, you got to write some of the action in it. Now, a lot of the camera stuff I have in my head, so and I can't really put that on paper, but you got to write the actions, you got to write what something's doing, you know what I mean? But it can get detailed. Like some people do write the camera stuff in there, and they can be like, okay, this shot is gonna. I have all that in my head. But other than that,
I've seen people do it with like the little handheld notepads.
Yeah,
and they'll have mad notepads. Now, granted, they'll eventually transcribe it to a computer, and print out an actual long form script. But I've seen people, like especially in grad school, they had a film major there, directing and stuff like that. And they'll just be sitting there with the notepad. And when you look at the pad, it's the tiniest fucking writing,
right?
But it's full script format,
right? Now, if I on my phone, if I like had a phone with a stylus or something like that, I can see myself maybe doing that.
Oh, but I'm sure it's
probably so. But me personally, I kind of do want that Pixel 3. I want that.
That's a nice ass phone.
But I mean, I've written stories on my phone and it's cool, but I can't just sit. That's not.
So
me.
you want to be that dude that's in Starbucks with the glasses that's like always like right here, like on the tip of his shit, just.
Yes, that would be me. Like I can definitely see once I get my laptop, I can definitely see myself just how you are with yours. I'll be traveling with mine.
Yeah, mine go everywhere.
Yeah, I can see that. But other than that, man, my week has been cool. It's been straight. Yeah, I mean it's my favorite month. It's October. It's Halloween, so it's my favorite month. But other than that, been chill, man. What about you?
So before I get in my week, I do want to shout out one of our ear hustlers and a really, really close dear friend of mine, Deidre. She texted me earlier and she was saying, I just want to let you guys know. I'm going to read the actual text itself. I'm more than positive she's actually watching it.
Do I know this Deidre?
No,
okay, I didn't know. Maybe it was a different Deidre.
I think she moved by the time we actually got this started.
Okay.
But she said, so I just want to say I really hate you and Kev. I heard y'all talk about Snowfall so much. I just started and I am in it in capital letters.
Before you continue reading, how far on Snowfall did you get?
I'm halfway through the second season.
Okay, you're getting there. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what the issue is? And obviously I'm going to keep incriminating myself. There are like no good streams of the second season. First season was cake. Ran through it, no problem. The second season, I got to keep bouncing back and forth between X streaming platform and Y streaming platform.
I need to update your Fire Stick to at least what I got, so you can. Yeah, I need to do that.
But yeah, she apparently we got her on Snowfall, so you're welcome, Deidre. It's an amazing show. I feel like if you're gonna be stuck on the show, Snowfall is a solid show to be stuck on.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I've had a very stressful, emotional, and I guess eye-opening week.
Talk about it.
So I'm not going to get too much into his business. I'll leave that to Jay Alonzo. But as he's mentioned on Back to the Classes before, so I'm going to kind of leave it as vague as he put it. He's not in the best of health at the moment. You know, to all the ear hustlers, if you believe, of course, send us your prayers. If you don't, just send us your well wishes and good thoughts.
Right.
We could really use anything at this time. He's not on his deathbed. You know, obviously he's still up and kicking and doing his thing. But just from a family standpoint, from a Samson side, we would really appreciate the ear hustlers. Just keep us in your prayers and your well wishes and your thoughts. His situation has taken a real big toll on me.
Right.
And you know, this is kind of going into one of the things we want to talk about today with Black men and mental health. Between the stress of Cognac Conversations, the stress of New York Comic Con, just the stress of everything.
Right.
Having this weight on my shoulders that is beat, a weight that I proudly carry, obviously, but having this weight on my shoulders that's beat, and then going to work a regular 12 to 8, that's just in the middle of the day.
Right.
You know, so you don't really have too much time. You end up sacrificing things.
Right.
I mentioned it at Cognac Conversations. You know, and a lot of times those things was sleep.
God damn, that's a shitty schedule.
I'm telling you, it's big trash.
Yeah.
One of the things that ends up getting sacrificed is sleep. One of the things I got told that in your first 5 years of being an entrepreneur, don't expect to get more than 4 hours of sleep in your first 5 years or something like that. And that's kind of what's been going on. And I've been told from jump that I need to kind of allocate certain responsibilities off to people and not hold everything on my plate, or it's going to eventually break me down. And that's basically what happened. I'm very personal. I don't like to share a lot. You know, I'm barely on my Facebook. I change my picture once a year. I'm actually think I'm overdue changing this current picture. But I'm going to get personal this time around, at least, only because this is something that as Black men, we don't speak up on enough. And I had a severe anxiety attack.
Okay.
To the point where I thought I was having a heart attack.
Okay.
Paramedics actually scooped me from my job, had me on oxygen. I was pale. I was sweating, big bullets, to the point where I didn't even know because I wasn't even hot. They're telling me that I'm sweating.
Right.
And then I finally look down at my shirt and my shirt's soaked.
Sure. Okay.
And it was just a full-fledged anxiety attack. And
for me, I've known people that have anxiety issues, but I've never had an attack. Could you explain what exactly goes into an anxiety attack?
With an anxiety attack, the stress and the depression, you know, from a medical place, I can't explain.
Okay.
I can only go from what I experienced.
Yeah. Well, what'd you feel basically?
It's the equivalent of what they say a heart attack is like.
Okay.
My issues was, this is a very dark beginning to our first video episode, by the way. But again, this is something that people don't talk about.
Right.
My situation, I woke up for work that day and I was big dizzy. Like when you stand up too fast, that feeling, but it just never went away.
Gotcha.
Midway through close to the end of the day, the dizziness went away, but it felt like I was high and I didn't smoke.
Gotcha.
Like that entire week, actually, because again, it was a busy week. But it felt like I was high. But during the dizzy spells, that kind of made me kind of try to get my placement. And I couldn't stand still enough. And ultimately, my body just started panicking.
Gotcha.
And with that, my heart rate increased. My breathing, you know, got kind of restricted. And again, it was all the signs of a heart attack. And almost passed out twice. So once we got there, you know, they ran the test and everything like that. Once everything kind of came back clean, it kind of turned into like a slight therapy session. Right. And that's why I let them know everything that was going on and my sleep patterns. And one thing that kind of blew me was that the doctor said I was dehydrated. They actually had me on a little IV drip. The doctor said I was dehydrated, and I'm sitting there like, bro, all I drink is water. Right. Like that's it. You go on my refrigerator right now, it's nothing but water. And I get somehow there's a connection between having those anxiety issues and the depression and the stress and stuff like that. It drains you. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's maybe personal, but you know, when you drink so much water and you still piss gold, like clearly, right. Something's not sticking. You know what I mean? Right. So you discover some new things with that. And Yeah, man. It's funny because it was a very stressful situation. Because again, I thought it was a heart attack, but it was eye opening. And my mother actually said something to me that made the most sense to me. And people think that I'm the asshole. They've never met my mother before. She's first of all, she's the greatest woman in the world. Let me say that as well. But I get all of this assholeness from her and her side of the family. The advice she gave me when she called me when we was in the hospital, she was like, you just have to really stop giving a fuck. And those are her exact words. She's like, you really just have to stop giving a fuck because you're putting so much on yourself and you're internalizing these things. Like you get to the place where you want to see yourself succeed so much that you develop a fear of failure.
So you rather do it yourself instead of
exactly. So that way, if something goes wrong, you know exactly whose fault it is.
Right.
But if something goes right, you know it's because of the work you've been putting in.
Right.
All in all, and I'm pretty sure the Beat fam that's gonna watch this is gonna be like, well, you ain't say shit. But ultimately putting so much on myself and not tending to my stress, not tending to my depression. And then you stack up, the things going on with my brother.
You took care of everything else except you.
I took care of everything else but myself. And again, it was one of the most eye-opening things because I felt like this is what is going to return me to that place that I was where ultimately I was at my happiest. And that's when I really didn't give a fuck. And I'm going to still maintain, the levels of respect that I've developed from coming out of being that shitless dude to where I'm at now. However, it's certain things, man. Like you can't play with health. You definitely can't play with mental health.
Certain shit you just gotta
not
be involved in.
You've seen people go into psychosis, and kill themselves, kill others. Best case scenario is that they end up in a straitjacket. And it, in this case, this was just my body just saying, "No, you're good. You can chill now."
One thing I learned about from playing ball, and one of my coaches, he told me, listen to your body. Yeah, you gotta listen to your body. And at the time, I'm like, man, I understood what he meant, but I was like, I ain't paying attention to that until I got older, and I was like, nah, he was right. Listen to that shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You gotta listen to your body.
One thing though that did make me happy is that they did like hella tests to kind of see what it was before coming down to the fact that it was just a severe anxiety attack. My heart is good, my lungs is good, got a CAT scan on my brain is straight. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I got a nice little bill of health. Right. I'm just crazy. Like, okay, I can take that. I can take crazy. Yeah. But it's very important because as black men, we hold on to a lot. Yeah, because we're to believe that we have to be tough, we have to be the protector, we have to be the provider, we have to be that soldier, or whatever. And then a lot of times, especially in this generation, when you do want to express yourself, it's not necessarily accepted in a way because you're automatically classified as a bitch, and that's between men and women. And it just gets to the point. You gotta take care of you. Yeah, you have to take care of you. If you got stuff going on that is gonna just sit on your heart, you got to tend to it. Yeah. Because this was literally one of those moments where you hear people say it all the time, stress can kill you. And I legitimately felt like stress was going to kill me.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think this year for me mentally has been more so like learning myself mentally. And as I've stated, I mean, as you know, like I deal with depression. So yeah, you got to listen to your body, take care of yourself, because you're absolutely right. Shit can turn left in a major way real quick. So I'm glad to see that it was just that. You know what I mean? You know how to move forward. You know how to go. You know how to move.
And really, with the heart that I have for my family and the people that I care about and that I love, my situation was just a one day thing. The situation with my brother, this is something that's going to be happening for some time. Right. So my mind and my heart immediately goes back to that place. And again, if Jay wants to come on here, talk about it, or when Back to the Classics finally comes back, he wants to go into detail about it, he absolutely can. I would be surprised if he didn't.
That's his story to tell.
That's his story to tell. But it's certain things you just can't help but to feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that makes sense. I had a sister that died at birth. I got a brother that I don't know. So it's only been me and Jay. We butt heads like it's no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I only have one brother.
Right. Y'all can bump heads, but can't nobody else bump heads.
Can't nobody else. Somebody else got shit to say. They get their shit knocked off. That's straight up. But I knock his shit off myself. Right. That's cool. Leave it be. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the same way with my brothers and sisters, so I get it.
So, that situation, man, I'd be lying if I said that's not something that I go to sleep with every night. But I know my brother, you know, he's hard-headed, but he's also smart enough to know when it's time to make, you know, the right decisions going forward. So again, keep him and the family in your thoughts and your prayers and your well wishes. And we're going to get on to some light shit now.
Okay.
I do have one interesting story, 2 interesting stories, actually. So you know how we have the like little baby lizards here, right? Geckos,
the little small
little albino joints.
You used to catch yeah.
Bruh, I shit you not. I saw a lizard about a foot long walking back from the gas station. Here's the crazy part is I'm walking and normally it's like little pigeons in this little dirt area. And you hear this paper go. So I thought it was just a pigeon landing. But you know, when you hear something, it automatically grabs your attention. I looked left, that motherfucker looked at me and then took off. I'm like, why are you that big? And another thing, what do lizards exist for? What is their purpose on this earth?
Actually, if we're being honest, they actually help the ecosystem.
Why? Like how?
Because they manage the thing about the bugs and shit that's flying around now, right? If that's not managed, then I mean, bugs outnumber people a gazillion to 1.
So they're keeping us alive. They're taking down the bugs.
In a sense, yeah. Just like I forget what animal it is that may eat spiders. Think about if spiders didn't have no type of regulation.
Now that, you know what I mean? He can stay, but I don't think he's from Vegas though.
Right, but no, I'm saying to say that they do have a purpose. It may be minute to us, but if they weren't around, then we'd be like, all right, wait a minute, somebody got to come fix this shit.
Listen, it took me out more ways than one.
But yeah, here in Vegas, you get those lizards. Hell, I had a pet iguana at one point that my uncle found. Like,
what is it with black people having pet iguanas?
Again, my uncle found this iguana. You know what I mean? It was in his backyard. It could have been somebody's.
Iguanas and tarantulas, like those are like the 2 go-tos.
No. But no, we had it. And interesting story. We had it, and it was cool. His name was Spike.
I can see it.
It was a big one.
It's like
it was
a Disney
big
character,
right? It was a big one. My mother killed it.
Okay.
So my mother, we had like this little tank and stuff, but it was in her room, right? But my mother likes her room relatively cold.
Oh, so it's like my mama bird.
Yeah.
From Martin.
Yeah. But the iguana froze. Thing was, the iguana froze, but it looked like it had a smile on his face. So it was very.
That's not funny.
It was very odd. But I'm saying to say, yeah, we get iguanas out here. I know scorpions are a big thing. As a matter of fact, if you're local, there's another scorpion. I know about it, but I don't live near scorpions, so I don't give a damn. But it's another scorpion, and you really only know how deadly it is if you have a what do they call, like, I don't want to say a blue light bullet. What is it? Ultraviolet light. Because when you shine it in the area, the thing glows.
Right.
So if you do have scorpions and you do this, and you just try to get it the hell away, leave it alone, like, because if it stings you in the problem. Good thing is we in Vegas, so the chances are they got antivenom. As if it does have antivenom, but you don't want no parts in that.
Hey, the main issues that you want.
Yeah, you don't want those problems.
I just, seeing that, like I've been seeing the little baby lizards, kind of trotting around or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. As soon as they see you, they take off running. But these other lizards, they just as gangster as any other, as a pit bull, if you want to be. Like, he just stared at me like I was in his, I was in his bubble. Like, what
in
you
a
mean?
sense, you probably were. In a sense,
I've been here. I pay rent over here. What you mean? Leave me be.
That's true. That's very true. But I've noticed, and I didn't see this lizard, but I've noticed at least with birds, like, certain birds, even in the city, some birds, like, they don't care.
Right.
Like, we go downtown, them pigeons don't care.
Bro, it's too hot for them to care.
They don't care. But if you go, like, the ones in the neighborhood, they may fly away. But in Cali, oh no, them pigeons don't. They look you up and down like, what?
I fly when I finish this bread.
Right. When I finish this bread, then I leave. Or like the seagulls.
Oh,
seagulls is thugs. They
coming to your food.
Exactly. They don't care.
Some nachos.
Yeah.
Let me get that. Let me see what that's in.
And if you don't give it as soon as you leave,
that's me.
There was one time I was on the beach and this she left like to go play, whatever the case was, but all their stuff was in their little area. Them birds fucked that whole area
that was mine, exactly.
Them birds messed that whole area up. So yeah. What was the other story you had? You said you
So this was really hard to believe, but it is Halloween season, so we're getting these things. There's a spot out here called Dead City Vegas. It's a haunted house.
Really?
Yes. Here's the kicker with Dead City Vegas. You can fight back. I think Vegas is underestimating the amount of people that have hands in the city.
Okay, before you even get there, is this only I'm assuming, an October thing?
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay, so what type of haunted house is this?
I mean, it's like one of the crazy haunted houses, the one that they jump out, they grab you, they try to snatch you away.
I wonder how much them people that work there are getting paid. If you know
they
that the person can fight,
either they're getting paid a grip or they're all secret UFC throwaways. Because again, I think Vegas is underestimating the amount of hands that may actually be here. Granted, a lot of Vegas dudes don't fight,
right.
But for the ones that do, it's gonna be about 3 or 4 zombies getting knocked the fuck out.
That's the reason I don't go to haunted houses now.
Why?
Because the last haunted house I was at, I fought and I got kicked out. But since then, I don't.
What would you fight?
I fought because
you fought a vampire.
No, I can't even remember what the fuck it was. I don't know. But I'm even though I'm as big as I am, I don't do like the scary movies and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I love scary movies.
And it's crazy because, like I said, Halloween is like my favorite holiday. So it's bizarre. But was in this haunted house, and I think it was like junior year or something like that. Mm-hmm. Junior, senior year. Was in this haunted house, and everything is cool. Something jumps out at me, and I just swung. And I hit him dead in his face. Mm-hmm. I was remorseful, like I felt bad because I understood. But from that point forward, I knew like haunted houses ain't, because I'm gonna fight.
And that's the thing. This haunted house, they want you to.
Until somebody get hit.
And it's gonna be a scrap. Like you about to really see dudes throwing bows with Dracula.
That's why I hope for their sake that all these guys are like UFC people or something like that. Because if they're just regular
there
Joes,
has to be a
like
catch.
Yeah,
like I didn't really get a chance to go onto the website and see what the catch is. It's probably like you can like tussle. But I don't think you can actually like chunk them. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, it ain't gonna be no chunk. I'm gonna hit you, and that's gonna be the end of that.
However, when the commercial tells me I can fight back, I'm not looking at rules. I just know that when I get touched by some shit I don't want to get touched by, it getting hit.
But that's kind of alarming though, because that's or at least for black men, that's like a normal reaction. Like something going on, you put your guard up or you swing, whatever the case is. So to me, that just sounds like it's a catch. I don't want no parts in that, dog. Now, I don't need no fake zombie beating my ass. I'm good.
Yo, can you imagine?
I'm good.
You walk in and you seeing like a zombie version of fucking Peter Pan or something. He's just teeing off on your homeboy because your homeboy ain't got squabbles.
Now I held my homeboy, but I don't want no problems in that.
But then
if we can stay away from that, I stay.
But it's like it's no longer a zombie. Now this is Phil.
Oh, now it's a real dude. This ain't no zombie. It's Phil with makeup on.
We got no other issues.
Yeah.
It's still people in the back trying to scare people. They walking by like, rah. You see this shit? They getting it cracking right now.
Yeah.
But again, I would want to try it out, but
you be on your own with that one.
As you said, I'm not trying to get 86'd. From a haunted house.
Well, shit, if they letting you fight, they ain't gonna 86 you. They might just beat you up.
Yo, you imagine getting jumped by the cast of Thriller? Like that's such a setup. Like at the end of the day, it's like a hood version of Thriller.
Yeah, I don't want no parts of that. I just stay away.
Before we get into the show, did you hear the new Rhapsody joint Sojourner with J. Cole?
Yeah, and they gassed that.
Bruh.
They gassed that.
I'm just gonna say it here on this show. Rhapsody is my favorite female MC, and she tops a lot of my favorite male MCs as well.
Like to me, she's better than all the female MCs. Period. But she's better than a lot. I want to say probably upwards of 70% of the males that rap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's crazy because her style is so poetic and effortless. Mm-hmm. Like when you listen to her delivery, it sounds like she's just
it's confidence in her delivery.
It's confident, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And it just seems like I'm glad people are starting to wake up to who she is. One thing I would love to see though, I would love to see how her battle bars are.
Ooh.
Cause she's a sweetheart. When you look at her interviews, when you read her articles, when you listen to the content and the things that she talks about and the things that she raps about, she's a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. However, her wordplay is beyond.
Yeah, it's out there.
A lot of women is MCs, a lot of men is MCs.
See, I'm weird because I do want her to get that commercial bag, like the success, but at the same time, me personally, with the history of people who I've listened to before they got commercial, it seems like the content or just how they are changes. I don't know. I don't think that would happen with her, but I hope it don't. I want her to get all the commercial bags. I just don't want the content to turn into commercial type content.
The only place I could see her going and maintaining her authenticity as the artist that she is getting a TDE Aftermath deal.
That'd be dope.
That's the only
I can
thing
see her with TDE.
Because I think with this new album coming up, I think Ninth Wonder is producing the entire thing.
Okay.
So you got bars by Rhapsody, production by Ninth Wonder, who's never been a slouch on production.
Right.
Bro, that's going to be an instant classic.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to that album.
And if you were to have some kind of a mainstream push, Interscope has definitely fucked a lot of artists.
I'd rather it be TDE, honestly.
Oh yeah, well, all that's under the Interscope umbrella. But what I'm saying is, Interscope has fucked a lot of artists. However, they kind of let Aftermath and people under the Aftermath umbrella do what they do because
that's what I mean.
the
I feel
relationship between Jimmy Iovine and Dre.
That's what I mean. I think TDE, they're on the Interscope, but I think they let them do what they're going to do. And that's what I would want to see for her.
Shit, I actually could be wrong. I don't even know if I think TDE just has like a distribution deal.
Either way, you know what I mean? I would rather see, because I know they're going to do whatever they're going to do.
They're going to let her be original.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. They're going to let her be original because that's where bars lives at TDE, and originality and just being a true artist. That's all TDE. They let all them people just be who they want to be. So I think that would be like the best move for her if she was to go into a mainstream market.
She does tracks like this with artists that are considered like top tier, like a track with Cole. Like, not many people got better bars than Cole.
Very true.
Regardless on how you feel about him being lazy or whatever, most people can't out-rap him. But for her to get on the track with him, have the confidence, and kind of hold her own, like, you can probably say that maybe she had the better version. I mean, I think that's dope.
No, it's amazing. And I wish more people would really get on Rhapsody. I'm championing Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Right here. If you're listening, if you're watching, Rhapsody. Rhapsody is the truth.
Yeah.
But to get into the show, did you see the Lakers Rockets game?
Actually, I did. That was the only Laker game I've seen. But
disrespectful. We've been doing pretty good in the second.
Well, yeah, I'm not hating on it. It's just that A, I only watch them because my team is not getting no TV time. B, they do have the best player on the planet on their team. And C, because it was the only thing on. There was nothing else on that day. But that game was entertaining. I will say that I was correct. When I first seen the Lakers scheduled, I told them, I was like, I said, they might can get the Spurs, but they do got Pop over there, so they're probably going to go 0-3 and sure as shit. They went 0-3 and won, just like I said they was. But back to that game.
I figured that they were going to have the same opening season that they had when he went back to Cleveland.
Right.
It gets to the point where
LeBron, his opening seasons, usually like he'll lose the first 5 games.
He did the exact same thing in Miami.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
lose,
that was expected. But outside of that,
no, I did see the game.
James Harden was fucking them up, bro.
He was. I didn't understand why Brandon Ingram pushed him when he walked by. Maybe it was something that I missed. I didn't understand that part. But I will say he got my respect because he's with the shit too.
But that's the thing. He was rowdy like that when he played for Duke.
He's
for the year.
And I'm not a Duke fan, so I didn't watch Duke like that. But
when I knew he was getting scouted as the pick, because around that time I think we had like 3 number 1 picks back to back, and then a lottery pick before that. But when I knew he was getting scouted, I started paying more attention to him. That's one thing I have changed. That when I hear, we have this position, we have, the number 1 slot or any kind of lottery slot, and we're talking about who we're thinking about, looking at, I'll start paying more attention to whether I fuck with the team or not.
I will say this particular draft, even though I'm not a Duke fan, I'm interested to see where these players go because Duke is stacked this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Duke is not. I'm interested
Duke
to see
has
where
been majority of the conversation.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where these players land. Like I really am, and the way my team is looking. We could have last year we got a number 8th pick, but even our rook ain't been shaping up. I would not be surprised if we end up with a top 5 pick next season, and I'm happy with that. But no, back to the game. I watched it. It's funny because after the Brandon Ingram thing happened, the camera was just on them, and all of a sudden, there's been punches thrown. I was like, oh shit!
The whole
and then,
rumble, right?
Yeah, and how'd you feel about them 2 fight? Chris Paul and Rondo, how'd you feel about that fight?
The fight itself was funny because Rondo has always looked like an old lady to me.
He does look like an old lady. He just needs a wig.
The punch was very old lady,
but that
with
punch
the purse,
it was clean.
But
though.
it connected. It connected
clean.
solid. The thing that gets me is, and of course, because it's genuine Laker hate, obviously, but they were saying that Rondo spit on him. Now, I'm not denying the fact that Rondo spit on him. Obviously, we saw spit leave this man's mouth and land on Chris Paul. I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. However, when you look at Rondo's face, nothing about that spit was like, Haktui, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I believe if he did spit him, it was like they were talking and spit flew out. It was because he did have a mouthpiece.
Right. It was either talking or exhaling. But at that point, you're exhausted because you've been pushing up and down the court all damn game.
Right.
Y'all just got done kind of getting into like a little melee, so you're catching your breath.
Right.
And you saw the spit fly out his mouth, but you don't see him set up and spit on Chris Paul. Now, I'm not saying that removes fault from him.
Right.
But I am saying I don't think he had the intentions and he deliberately spit on Chris Paul.
I agree with that.
When Chris Paul put his hand in his face, I thought Rondo's his
reaction was definitely
worth what it's supposed to be. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Brandon Ingram getting back involved again. He's been scrappy since Duke, but to me, I look at it the same way I looked at Jermaine O'Neal in the Malice in the Palace. Mm-hmm. You didn't need to be there.
He didn't need to. He could have. I respect the fact that he's sticking up for his teammates. I
do.
But
absolutely,
dude, you just shit kind of started because of you. I don't think you should have. You should have just let it go. Cause I agree with you on that. I think. Well, watching that fight and listening to it, of course, it's a lot of Laker fans saying it, but I've learned. Most of these people ain't never been in no real fight before.
Oh, absolutely.
They ain't never been in a real fight before. Now, again, I agree with you. I don't believe it was intentional or anything like that, but it doesn't change the fact that it still happened.
And it was entertaining as shit.
Yeah, his reaction to Chris Paul's stuff was because if you put your hand in my face like that, I'm going to jab the shit out of you.
Absolutely. There's no more conversation.
So I understand that. But what people fail to realize is everybody talking about the punch, which was clean, okay. But people don't realize Chris Paul gave him like two that are getting completely ignored. He gave him one, which you can't say it was but Chris Paul uppercutted the shit out of that.
Absolutely.
Man. And that's negated. Nobody talks about that, which lets me know like y'all ain't really been in no fights like that. Like y'all ain't been in no fights. But I thought it was entertaining.
I've always felt that way about Rondo because I'm not gonna lie, even though he's in purple and gold.
I've heard Rondo's always been with the shits.
He's always been with the shits, but he's always been getting his ass kicked at the same time. He's one of those dudes that's real scrappy, but that's kind of just where it stops.
I get what you're saying.
If you think about all the stories in the NBA, you never heard, hey, Rondo whoop dude ass. You never heard that. Yeah, you've always heard Rondo got into a fight, but you never heard he actually stomped somebody out.
That's true.
But I've never been really a big fan of him. I can't help but to see him in Celtics green, so I'm like,
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But in that situation, I feel like his reaction was
warranted. His reaction was warranted.
It was definitely warranted. And if I have to say that something was taken out of context, I won't place blame because obviously adrenaline was high. But if anything was taken out of context, was that spit. Now, one thing that's getting on my nerves, and we've had this discussion on the show plenty of times because LeBron just got over here before then he was on your team. I've never had anything negative to say about LeBron. I've never had a problem with the decisions that he make. This LeBron hate is starting to get like, well, not even starting. It's been to that place of
LeBron hate from who though?
Just from the fans.
Okay.
Well, you got the Lakers fans who, when LeBron fucks up again, they're like, Kobe would have never fucked that up. Like, yeah, but let's think about all the fuck ups Kobe did towards the latter part of his career when he was around LeBron's age.
Or even fuck ups he did during when he was cool.
When he was in his prime, exactly. I think that somebody put out a list, they said 10 times Kobe choked, where you said LeBron should have excelled. But you look at the hate that he gets from the Laker fans who just will not let Kobe ass go, and then the hate that he gets from just the rest of NBA in general, because they were trying to say that him grabbing Chris Paul, that wasn't, a very, what's the word I'm looking for? That wasn't, a teammate thing to do.
Yeah, they wanted him to throw bows too.
They wanted him to either throw bows or grab somebody from the Lakers. But like you said, Chris Paul was whooping Rondo's ass. So that's one. Two, Chris Paul is his mans.
That's what I'm saying. People fail to realize like that they're boys outside of that.
He was on the yacht with D Wade and Gabby. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a whole team setup. So at the end of the day, if his mans is getting into a fight with his other mans, he's not going to jump in. He's definitely going to separate what he has to do. And at that point, Chris Paul was the aggressor. So you can move Rondo all day. But guess what? When you grab that guy, I'm open. I'm taking all kind of, you know what I'm saying? I'm teeing off on dude because obviously his hands is open.
To me,
you got to go for the aggressor.
Right. To me, it's a lot with that. Number one, like we said, that's his mans, you know what I mean? But if you are a hooper, and I even do this with my friends. Hell, I did this on Wednesday. Me and my boy, like I'm introducing one of the 6 people I fuck with. He's one of the 6 people. We are boys, right? But we're jawing when we're playing each other. Me and him can do that all day. But if somebody else, whether you're on my team or not, you do that and he got an issue with it, nigga, now you got an issue with both of us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I look at that as that, like, yeah, he could have did that. Okay, let's say LeBron didn't do that. Let's say he threw a punch. Now the best player in the world on your team, when you already done lost 2 players, is now suspended.
Right.
So what do you want?
That's when you're all great. We suck again.
Yeah. So what do you want? With that situation, I do agree with you on the whole spitting thing. The only thing is we don't know how Chris Paul's mentality is when it comes to that. Cause I'm like that. Like we can be talking if not you, but like I said, I'm talking to somebody and they spit on my face. I'm like, hey bro, don't do that. You know what I mean? That's a trigger for me. Mm-hmm. Who's to say that's not a trigger for Chris Paul, regardless on how it came about?
No, absolutely. No. And I agree. And especially when your adrenaline is already up from the game.
Yeah, when you're already there.
You can't, you can't really control.
When you're in that moment, it's hard to not be in that moment.
But the same way you just said, you're going to be aggressive. You're going to be like, hey, bro, don't, you better, relax. Don't be on that shit because I'll smack the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. There's that kind of response. And then there's, oh, you spit on me. And again, when you watch the tape, his head is coming back towards Chris Paul. Mm-hmm. And then the spit flies. You don't see him lean back and just spit in Chris Paul's face. Right. If it was how everyone's trying to say it was, because even when you see the animations that people set up, they got Rondo just like hawking a loogie at dude. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever, I know you have because you play basketball, but when you're tired and your adrenaline is up, it's a lot of mouth breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you got a mouthpiece in.
And the mouthpiece has nothing but saliva. You get that in boxing. Boxing is a prime example, bro. It ain't nothing but spit in a boxing ring. Mm-hmm. So it's not impossible for it to happen. Now, again, I'm not making excuses for him, and I'm not trying to pass blame or whatever. Just the conversation about Rondo just up and just spitting on dude. Again, I'm not a big fan of Rondo, but I don't think he's just that blatantly disrespectful as a man, let alone as an NBA professional athlete.
Right. I agree with that. Only thing that makes me kind of question, and look at Asher is because Rondo and Chris Paul have been at it since Rondo came into the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have not liked each other since then. So this was like one of those moments that was brewing. Mm-hmm. So who's to say that maybe, if I know that, then I know Rondo or Chris Paul know that. So who's to say that maybe one of them was, like really in that moment. But at the same time, I do agree with you. I don't think it was intentional. But also, I'm not Chris Paul, so I don't know what his triggers are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It could just be that little bit. And maybe, like I said, how maybe I would react to it if it was something like that. But at the same time, if it's somebody that I don't really fucks with anyway, and a mistake like that happened, I can't say that I wouldn't tee off on him or do exactly what Chris Paul did. Either way, it was entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, it was cool to see. Me personally, I thought Malice in the Palace was entertaining, but I'm glad.
Me too.
I'm glad it didn't get to that.
I watched Malice in the Palace maybe once a year.
Did you see Nip stood up like he was about to jump? Nip stood up, pull his pants up like, yo.
That is more than a meme. All right. No matter what situation you in, if you see your man's and he about to get into a situation that there's potential that he could be jumped, you off to the side doing the same thing. Like, all right, let me.
It was funny because I was telling and this is about to sound so bad, but again, this is the era that we was in. I remember I was telling my chick this. At least the dudes that I remember how we were. Like, let's say if one of our men was fighting one of your mans, but you was with him, chances are you got hit too.
Yeah.
That's just how it was. Like you got hit too. I know I've been involved in that. It hasn't happened to me, but I've done it. Not necessarily to that, because it was like escalation before that, but I've seen that happen to where somebody get knocked out because they came with they did what a friend does,
right? And
they just ended up on the other end of the stick,
right? So
it's to me to watch that game, I was like, this is kind of entertaining.
Absolutely, it felt as natural street ball as it could be.
Yeah,
and to the point that you just made, in those situations, you're never going to be like, okay, well, you're standing there. My boy's over here fighting. We might as well fight. Nah. It's one of the things where when you see that dude kind of itching for it, like, what you about to do?
Yeah.
And you're not going to be the one that's going to get to him too late. So you're going to get to him early.
Yeah. I've seen that.
It's on his heart.
and knowing that I know that. So when it is a group of us, like, I'm off to the side, like I'm my head's on the swivel, like you know what I mean. So I don't know. I will say that with their suspensions, though, this was the lightest shit that I've ever heard of.
You know what though? I'm happy about that, and that's one of the points.
I'm happy about it too, but I'm like, damn, this was like Brandon Ingram got into a ref's face. He looked like he was about to swing on the ref.
Right.
Only 4 games?
But that's what I'm saying.
Vacation.
When the reason that I was happy about that is because you look at the 80s, you look at the Showtime Lakers era, you look at Clyde Glide's era. They were having full-ass fights and going back to the game.
Yep.
Having full-ass fights, and then Clyde Drexler finishing as a player of the game. You know what I'm saying? And then the next game, MVP of the year, whatever the case is. I'm happy we can at least get to the place where we understand we can't always expect adrenaline and testosterone to always have a peaceful outcome.
Well, I think, and this is about to sound bad, I think people within that industry need to understand that just because this is a game, and yes, we're coming here with no intentions to fight, it doesn't change the fact that we're all still men and we all still have our own set of morals and priorities that this other person may not get with.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think people within the industry understand, yes, this is a game, it's basketball, it's a business, we're doing that. But at the end of the day, we are still dealing with people. Now, when y'all start dealing with making robots do this shit, then okay. But until that day...
I don't think I'm ready for the robot league.
No, I don't want to watch it either. But until that day, these are actual people with feelings, emotions, and their own thought process. I mean, it's people in the NBA that believe the earth is flat. So, you know what I mean? You got to understand that this can happen. Yeah, you got to understand that.
Talking about Kyrie?
Yeah. And it sucks because when he was on the Cavs, he was like my favorite player. But you got to understand that these are grown men. Some of them may be young. Some of them may be old. That you know what I mean? Hold this. You can't tell a 19-year-old how he's supposed to feel, whether he's on that stage or not. So you got to understand that shit like this, although rare, it may happen.
I say it all the time. I don't think hockey players go into the game with intentions to fight.
Nah, but they with the shits though. If it comes down to it,
and you look at games like that, you let them cut up, go into the penalty box, and they be right back. And that's how basketball was at one point.
That makes me think. You just made it. Why is it that in hockey we can let fight? You know, but with any other sport, you're kicked out of the game. That doesn't happen. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Well, I know why.
You know why that is.
But it's just
same reason you're allowed to fight in rugby. Same reason you're allowed to fight in all these sports that's not necessarily melanated, we'll say.
That's true.
But
it's funny you say that because even in baseball, we've both seen fights, and a player may get suspended, but it's not like that.
The dugout will clear.
Yeah, it is not
for
like that.
a brawl in the middle of the game.
And now you can't even
take a break. And then go back to the game.
It's crazy because now, like as a hooper, you can't even leave. Like if something's going on, you can't leave the bench. You get suspended if you leave the bench. Even if you went out there to break it up, you get suspended. But on other sport, like baseball, whole dugout can clear and there's nothing.
And there's no problem because there's an expectation. In baseball, there's no excuse for it. You can't even attempt to give me an excuse for it. But in those kind of contact sports, it's like I just said, adrenaline, testosterone. Shit is rampant. Shit is high. You're filling up. You can't necessarily control how you react to somebody being physically disrespectful to you like that. Obviously, we can go all day as far as the color is concerned, but for some reason, it's tolerable in these sports, but not in the sports that have majority black players, because it's the same thing in football. As soon as that helmet come off, that's already what a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, but I mean, in that particular sport, you'd be kind of stupid to take your helmet off anyway.
You'd be retarded, but again,
you're right.
Adrenaline, testosterone.
Yeah, you're right. But now I want to make an argument to you about the baseball thing. Now, although I do agree with everything that you said, you ever been hit by baseball?
No, I've never been in.
When I was this was back home. We played any bounce, and I remember we were playing in our driveway, and I got hit with a baseball, and I got hit with a baseball in my head, like my ear, like it fucked me up. That was the first and last time I really been hit with a baseball. But I'm saying that to say, imagine, maybe you let it slide once, but imagine getting hit with a baseball at 90 miles an hour.
No, that'll piss me off.
Yeah, you might want to jump out there and get active.
That'll piss me off, absolutely. However, majority of the fights,
majority of it be petty shit. Yeah.
Right, come from the baseball player being, talking to the second baseman.
Yeah,
just jaw jacking.
Yeah,
he's just constantly getting at him, constantly getting at him.
And majority for everything else, that's part of the sport.
Everything else is just a part of the sport. And they eventually let their emotions get the best of them. That's why it's kind of hard to justify that it's adrenaline and it's testosterone when it's just emotions from too much shit talking.
That part is true. I get
when you get hit with a 90 mile per hour ball, oh yeah, you got to catch my fade. You have to.
You got to do it. Especially if it was deliberate. Like
especially if
it turns out, it happened and it looks like it very well could have been an accident. Didn't mean it happened. You express it was an accident. But if because they do that in baseball, walk them or something like that. You hit me with a 90-something pitch, you about to catch these hands.
Absolutely. That's a given because now I'm just mad. Now I'm just mad. Pissed. Yeah. But again, you'll see the batter who just hit a double, and he's on second base, jaw jacking. They shove each other. Now they scrapping. Yeah. The dugout's clear.
Exactly.
Shit, we've seen coaches fight.
Yeah.
We've seen whole ass coaches fight. We've seen coaches,
managers and
we've seen coaches and umpires fight. What are you hyped up for?
Yeah.
You're just a nigga over here.
You're just a coach.
However, that shit can happen. And nothing happens.
Nothing happens because they clear out the dugout.
Unless something gets changed. Because I will be all the way honest with you. I don't watch baseball.
No, I don't watch it.
However,
play is fun, but I ain't watching that shit.
You see like the highlights of major games, major playoff games, major what's the name of their championship game?
The World Series?
The World Series games where cats is just fighting and getting it in.
Hell,
and then you'll see them batting like an hour later. Baseball's like a 5-hour game.
I heard the Dodger game went to 18 innings.
Bro, I saw people still posting it close to midnight.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa. When I looked at it, and the score wasn't even crazy. It was 2-3 Dodgers, and it went 18 innings. See, that would make me want to fight. That game lasted 7 hours, bro.
That's insane. And 5 hours was just a joke. So the fact that...
Like, you could have tuned in at the 10th inning and lasted to the 8th, and that was like a full game.
Yeah, that's all you needed.
That's crazy.
That's all you needed. But, kind of going back to it, I was happy that the suspensions were light. I think they're starting to get a little more... They're never going to come fully around to letting these people have those kind of emotional expressions.
They're never going to do that, yeah.
But the fact that it went from something that could have easily been a 14-game suspension.
Yeah.
Was only or an indefinite. Game. That's another word they like to throw around. Indefinite suspensions. Yeah. The fact that it went from that to all right, just sit out these few games.
Yeah.
There's enough of an argument getting brought up like, hey, we're just as much as emotional, competitive athletes as the rest of these other athletes that y'all give these passes to.
Right.
Obviously, the leagues are different, but again, we've had the conversation.
But even then, man, I think white people in these businesses that not baseball, but these other they got to realize, like, yes, we understand it's a business, but your players don't come from the same background as you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're dealing with ethnic players. Disrespect is a major thing in the black community. So if they feel the chances are it's going to come to blows, even though for you, hey, don't disrespect me, Billy, and go to your room, and that may be that. Billy might have to get his ass so he disrespect the black person.
I'm gonna kill you all.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'm glad they're starting to do it now, but I think these higher ups, these white higher ups, they need to really come around and understand, like, yo, they're people just like you.
Absolutely. You know what I don't see a lot of, and I don't know how they get down. I don't see a lot of soccer fights.
I don't see a lot of soccer fights, but I do see it's weird. To me, soccer is weird because I have seen a lot of flopping. Where I'm like, bro, get your ass up. It's LeBron levels.
But
then I always see, but I do see some where it's like, okay, y'all really own that shit. Like I get that, but I don't think so because, excuse me, I don't think they fight as much is because probably they too tired, bro.
I was about to say the same thing, bro. We've been running up and down here for an hour and a half. I'm tired.
Have you seen that soccer field? That thing is huge. Like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to fight, dog.
At that point, that's when you just see two niggas slap boxing. That's just all the energy.
Or they do little petty shit like trip each other. Like,
right. No, you'll see now that I've seen.
You'll see that.
Lead to, no, you know what I see more? What you could actually find more online than fights? Cats like stepping on other cats' hands with their cleats.
Yeah.
Now that is crazy because that's a guaranteed injury.
Hurt.
You know what I'm saying?
I had that accidentally happen in football. That shit hurt.
Yeah, you see football players do it too.
Yeah.
But with soccer, I think soccer is like what, metal cleats, isn't it?
I think they have both, but either way, it's you kick somebody, I don't give a damn, the shit hurts. That's just strong. Your legs are strongest muscle on your body. So whether you kicking or stepping on somebody, that shit hurts.
Either way, man, that fight was very entertaining.
It was.
And I appreciate everything about that.
I will say this NBA season has definitely kicked off crazy. Like, you got a bunch of players that are averaging currently right now over 30. You got a bunch of teams that are really doing it. Like, a lot of clutch shots. This year has been dope, and I'm excited to see how this year progress. But I'm really excited. Well, not for my team, but I'm really excited for next year to see what these
kids
your
team do. As far as their pick,
yeah,
I feel that. Now I will go on record to say this, same way you went on record saying they're going to go 0-3. if he's not MVP, I think Anthony Davis is going to, at the very least, be runner-up.
Oh, then we're here. We're here because I was like, if Bron's not MVP, then it's Anthony Davis.
It's Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis he's already having an amazing season.
I think a dark horse in that, though, my dark horse might be Giannis.
Yeah.
That might be my dark horse.
That'd be
but I definitely
solid.
think the top two for sure.
I don't even know if LeBron going to be in there, to be honest.
No, I think the top two, I think it would be LeBron or if it's not LeBron, I think it would be AD.
Looking how James Harden was balling, I can kind of see him sliding back in the conversation as well.
I don't think so.
You think he's going to burn out?
That, and there was argument with it last year. You know what I mean? So I don't see him doing it. Not this year. Maybe if it happens, if he does, let's say he has a good season this year, right? Next year, if he has the same season, absolutely. But this year, I think with the media, the way the shit is going in LA with LeBron right now is too crazy. And then you can't deny Anthony Davis. I mean, hell, people say last year he could have won it. So if Bron doesn't win it this year, then I think it'll be Anthony Davis.
I think it'll be Anthony Davis. And again, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
So we got to get into some petty shit.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about it because this is your guy. It's your man's.
Well, being that we're okay, it's 50. When he came out, like me and my best friend, we like study 50. Like I said, if I knew how to rap, I would body 50. Again, I don't know how to rap.
Still the funniest setup.
If I knew how to rap, I would body him because you study that person. So I understand the level of petty. Only difference is I have to be provoked to get to that level. 50 wakes up and it's Tuesday and it's that level. That's the difference. But then also, you can say with the Ashanti thing, he was kind of being a bully, if you want to say that. If you want to say that, right? If you want to say that. But the job thing, that's street shit. So I understand that completely. And me personally, I can see
boss shit the way he did with
Yeah, it is some boss shit. But I think if I had that kind of money and I had a vendetta with somebody from the streets like that, I can see myself doing that. Your venue's already not sold out.
Right.
But I'm going to buy 200 tickets and it's going to be pocket change to me just so nobody can beat. That's bullshit to me.
Now, just kind of go back because obviously you can see it on my face. I had something to say. 50 made comments about Ashanti only selling 24 tickets.
Yeah, I don't think it's bullying, but some people can say that.
Now, and that's one of the things I'm going to go into. Where this hypersensitivity is becoming too much. Even when you heard Ashanti interview about it, she was coached into saying that he was bullying her.
Right.
Outside of that, what did 50 say that everyone else didn't say?
You're right. Only difference is it's 50. I just said this.
And that's the only real difference. Like, trolls going to be trolls no matter how you feel about them. Trolls are going to be trolls. The shit's going to happen. The fact that you're in a situation, you didn't sell 24 tickets because of you being Ashanti. You sold 24 tickets as a last minute act that wasn't promoted. No one's going to sell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
On top of that, man, even though you look bomb is anybody really checking for Ashanti like that?
Not at a high school.
Yeah.
Not at a high school.
It was at a high school.
If I remember correctly, it was either a high school or it was a college. But either way,
they don't, even if it's a college, they don't know her like that. To be, yeah.
Either way, when you put it in, we put it in proper perspective, 2,000 babies are turning 18.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, hey, you were popping from 01 till about, you know what I'm saying? That whole time you were popping, there were kids, there were babies.
They were babies. It wasn't listening.
So you're not going to sell those tickets as a last minute person. Granted, had she had the build, she probably could have.
Maybe.
But again, I got to look into the story again a little more. But it was either a high school or it was a college. If it was a college, it's a little more. If it was a college, a little more disrespectful because they have alumni coming back.
True.
If they don't know Ashanti, you at least know Ashanti.
Right.
But, you look at that kind of situation, you didn't necessarily take an L. That was bad promo from the actual place.
Honestly, because, I didn't hear about it until she didn't sell. That's
right. You didn't hear about it until everything was canceled.
Right.
So the fact that 50 has something to say, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And the world knows what it is. It's just, it's fun to poke fun at. I can't lie. When I heard 24 tickets, crying laughing.
Yeah,
but then when I finally heard the whole story, I'm like, okay, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I like it too, though.
But I don't look at it. I don't look at that kind of stuff as bullying because, had the roles been reversed, had 50 only sold 24 tickets.
They be clowning them.
They be clowning them.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's bullying either. But and some people, and also more sensitive people can say, "Oh, he was bullying her."
It was bullying or whatever. At least she has a legit excuse. Where was all these bully warriors when everyone was clowning Ja over the Fire Festival? Ja was a running joke for the week. You know what I'm saying? He was memes.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, why is it we're being...
They pick and choose.
Well, of course, obviously.
They pick and choose. And I think with Ashanti, they pick and choose because she does look that good. So they pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like, right. Yeah.
And Ja looks like a buff-ass Stuart Little.
Again, I don't think it was bullying at all in her case. Hell, either of them. But hey, it is what it is.
Now, the 200 seats thing...
That shit is genius.
That is a level of petty that I don't even want to aspire to be.
I love it
because that is throwaway money. Like, I'm gonna buy 200 seats.
$3K. That's chump changing.
Tickets was $3K. I'm gonna blow $3K just to embarrass you.
Right. And
just to embarrass you.
I guess I love it so much because I understand it. Because, like I said, if I'm angry enough or if I'm pushed to that level, it's some shit I would do. So I understand it. That's why I love it so much. Like, to me, it's genius.
The only thing about that, I wouldn't have announced it. What I would have done is I would have bought the tickets, kept quiet, and when the pictures came out, I'd have showed the receipts. This is why I want nobody in them seats. You're trash. Because now that they know there's 200 seats that aren't going to get filled, they're going to bring some people in. Some people may have free seating now. There may be contests that are going to be held to fill in those seats. He may not have the payoff that he's looking for.
Well, the reason I think he did is because he bought the tickets last minute. You know what I mean? So it's like he bought the tickets today, but the concert's tomorrow. It's only so much you can do between that time. But I've seen the pictures and shit looked... First of all, it didn't look like not a single black person was at that. The little pictures, it was no black people there.
I think black people gave up on Ja.
That's number one. Number two, it did look empty by the way he did. And he bought all the tickets at the front. Like, it's genius to me.
No, it's brilliant. I'm telling you, it's brilliant. But again, the fact that his ticket sales were already in.
Tickets were
you show up and your first 2 rows... Nothing.
Oh, if it was me, like if I'm Ja, well, I can't say if I'm Ja. If it was me and somebody did this to me, I gotta pull up. like you, I don't know. I gotta pull up. I can't say if I was Ja because we know how that would turn out. But if I gotta pull up.
My thing is, I got your bread, so I appreciate your contribution.
That's true.
You had your laugh, you had your hearty chuckle. That's still my check, though. And again, I'm going to figure out a way to finesse it in my favor. Movie magic is real. Angles is everything.
Yeah.
You can fill in a certain way to make it seem like that entire show was sold out. Prime example. Don't ask me why I looked this up. Just know that I did and I synced it. There's a concert, a Will Smith concert on YouTube. And wait,
there's a concert with Will Smith concert
exactly.
on YouTube?
I had a legit curiosity. I was like, does Will Smith have any live shows? And I think it was around the time he put out the last album. Don't even get me trying to start what the hell it's called. No. He had an album.
Wait, he put out an album in the 2000s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
It was the very last album. It was the one that had Switch on it. You remember Switch.
The song I remember, but it beats me. I don't know what album.
But it was that album. Okay. It was around that time. He had a full-fledged concert. The way that it's shot, the way that it's angled, it looks like he had a solid crowd. It didn't look like thousands and thousands of people. It looked like a solid crowd. There was one little break in the camera.
Where you seen that?
Where you see it was maybe 200 people. Maybe.
For Will Smith, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot whatsoever. But when you also look at it, the venue doesn't look like it's bigger than 250 people. So, but again, angles is everything.
Yeah.
If I was Ja, I'd finesse it and I'd run off with 50's bread.
I think it's kind of the way it happened, the way how quick he was on it. I think it's kind of too late for him to finesse it because all the pictures have been released unedited. So it's kind of hard. So
did the concert already happen?
Yeah, like the concert happened. 50 posted a video or the pictures of it's 2 pictures. One of them is like a whole bunch of receipts is empty, and then the second one he photoshopped himself sitting on like one of the empty seats or whatever the case is. But either way, the concert, everything already happened. You know what I mean? So I think it's hard for him to do that. But I agree with you. Like, nigga, that's my money. You didn't pay for my money.
Cool. Like I did this show. As much as everybody want to say, I did it for the fans, you did it for the check. And he got his check. So
yeah. Yeah.
In Ja's case, that's a W.
In that case, it's a W. But is it really a W when the person that did it, like you do not have that bag that the person had? Like 50 just signed a $150 million deal. Like,
right.
He got the bread and you ain't got nowhere near that. So it's like, yeah, this person, he did that and I got the check. But at the end of the day, I was on top, and since he came, he ain't, you know what I mean? Like, you can look at it both ways, is all I'm saying.
Bro, that's still such a sad case. We watched a man get bullied out of the hip-hop industry.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we've seen a lot of things happen in rap.
See, I got an issue with that word. Is it, now, to me, bullying is if I'm doing something to you and you really ain't fighting back and nothing like that, then yeah, you're bullying. But if you're competing with me fighting back, I don't really classify that as bullying. You just lost.
No, I look at it as a loss. I look at it the exact same way. But it's like, it's when you see the dude from the chess club about to go outside and have a fight with the captain of the football team. It's like, yeah, you have heart for standing up to that dude.
You still got your ass beat.
You still got fucked up. It doesn't change. Even if you got some good licks in, you got fucked up. You know, and you can't help but to look at it as an ass beating. No, Trevor got some swings in. Trevor got his ass beat.
Trevor's in ICU right now.
Trevor is still trying to get the foot out of his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at it, so that's why I look at, it was competition. But it's like, dog, you got hit from so many different angles. And then you got too cocky. And then you made the line about M. Now you made an enemy out of arguably the best lyricists of the new generation. So it's like, bro, you got some issues.
Not only did you make an enemy with arguably the best lyricist, but he has the best producer.
He had the best everything. Like, you got into an issue with Shady Aftermath when they ran hip hop.
Right. What else was supposed to happen? When they were the Warriors at 73. Well, I'm not going to use that example because they did lose. But when they were the Warriors, the typical Warriors,
right?
You tried to fight them and you were you were Charlotte and you lost.
Exactly. Charlotte, that's giving away too much credit. He was the Phoenix Suns. Yikes. He was the Phoenix Suns going up against the Warriors. Today's Warriors at that. A healthy DeMarcus Cousins. That's what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
You know who's the only other person I've seen get, and you can say he got bullied out of the industry because when you actually go through the track record. Young Berg got bullied up out of rapping.
He definitely got bullied out of
Changed his name to Hitmaker, and now he's just a producer. But the fact that there are multiple videos of Young Berg getting beat up, that man was bullied out of the industry.
Definitely bullied. He was he was bullied.
Hey, but you know what though? Respect to him because he's having a flourishing career as a producer.
He's killing shit.
And his beats are nice.
I've heard shit. I'm like, Berg did this? Really?
It's so hard to kind of respect him.
Right, the nigga that just got a change did this?
Exact. Multiple chains.
Yes.
Plural.
But he went in as a producer.
He did what he was supposed to do. He realized this may not be for me.
That may not be my lane.
And notice he ain't been talking shit since.
But when I do hear him
doing my beats.
Usually when I hear him, it'd be like on Joe Budden podcast or something like that. You can hear it. It's a lot of cockiness in it.
There's a lot of cockiness.
It's a lot of cockiness.
There's a lot of cockiness in his production. As far as who he's producing for, the bag he's collecting, which he deserves. Because if he didn't step up as that producer that he ultimately was destined to be, because he was a trash rapper, if he didn't step up as that producer, there would be no more Young Berg bag.
That's very true.
There would just be, hey, y'all remember that dude that kept getting beat up in hip hop?
I will say that I think it was his first thing that Sexy Lady track. That track was cool, but it was cool because of the nigga was singing. Not because of him. Right?
It wasn't because you enjoy it. I can't spit a single Young verse.
But I know the hook.
Young Berg bar.
I know the hook though.
Exactly. And even the hook was corny. It was just the delivery of the corny of the verse.
But like I said, it was just dude's voice. It was like, okay, I could, you know what I mean?
You rocked with it.
Yeah.
And then Sexy Canna is another one. You can't think of.
I think RJ's trash, honestly.
No, I agree with you.
I think he's trash.
I agree with you. Sexy Canna was annoying. However, it buzzed and it was big. Not one person can spit a single Young Berg verse from that song.
Right.
So he found his lane after getting bullied out of one, and he was able to stay relevant in hip hop.
And it's funny because even though I feel like I don't, as an artist, I don't rock with Ray J. I think he's trash, but people fucks with him. He has hits. Like me personally, I think when he made that song, Wait a Minute, when he started trying to rap, that first little Wait a Minute song, for the time being, I was like, okay, it's a cool song. And then when he started singing, I was like, this dude sucks.
He's trash.
Like you sound like you hurt when you sing. Like it sucks. Or that 143 track. Like, but
shit, I forgot all about that.
But to
song.
the people, he got hits. Like I see people on my T on Twitter all the time. Ray J had hits. I'm like, no, this nigga's trash.
But you know what though? If men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Ray J had hits.
If you go by numbers, oh, absolutely.
If you're going by numbers,
yeah.
But now, as far as timeless records, that he doesn't have.
Nah.
If you want to call any record timeless, maybe One Wish, maybe.
And that's simply off of the impact when it came out.
And that's off of the impact of One Wish, of how big it was.
Yeah.
Maybe. No one's putting on Wait a Minute. Sexy Can I's in nobody's rotation.
All I know
right
is
now.
just Wait a Minute. I don't know nothing else from that.
Exactly.
Wait a Minute. Yeah.
Just Wait a Minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's another dude that kind of recognized his place in the industry. He's like, I should just be doing reality TV stuff.
Yeah.
And he knew when to bow out. Respect to the artists that know when to bow out.
Yeah, respect to them. I will say that with Love and Hip Hop, like, I'm not a fan of none of it. Like, it came on TV one day and I watched it out of pure laughing. Like, I watch that shit to get a good hearty. It's like watching stand up to me. Like, I get a good hearty laugh of it because that shit is fuckery. That's fuckery if I've ever seen it, but it's hilarious. Can't tell you much about these people, but that particular show is hilarious. Like, I tune in on Mondays just because it's funny.
I get enough from hearing about it doing reality
It's
TV.
funny. Any other show, like I don't chant. Honestly, next season they'll probably give me only because Joe will be on it, so I'm interested to see that. But if Joe wasn't on next season, after this season,
it's gonna be a lot of yelling.
I don't think it will be.
Why? How you figure?
I don't think it will be because even though Joe's on it, I don't think his story is like that. I think they got a storyline, but with his new trajectory, I don't think it's going to be like anything we've seen. I think he's on it, but I think he's going to be more removed.
He probably got that Remy Ma deal because that's how I hear Remy Ma is on Love and Hip Hop New York. Her and Papoose. Or like, they kind of just show up to be like, hey, we're Remy Ma.
Or like the Little Fizz thing, the kid from B2K. This particular Monday was the first time I seen him since like way back, so it could be something like that where he's technically on it. I
forgot he's even on that day.
He's not even. Again, he's not.
Is Omarion still on that show too?
I don't think so. I ain't seen him.
Yeah.
But again, even with the Fizz character, he stays out of the way. Like a lot of the one time they showed him was a few minutes. It was his baby mom's was beefing with now her, I'm assuming ex, which is a girl, and he was kind of in the middle of it. But he was like staying out of it. He didn't say that. He let them. That's some shit I would do, and I respect that. But to say he's not there, like he doesn't be on it. So I think Joe's shit would be like that. But I'm saying it to say if Joe's was never on it, once this season ended, I was never watching Love and Hip Hop again. I only watch shit for pure entertainment.
I'm not even going to go into it. I'm going to wait till people tell me that there's something cool I should look up on YouTube.
That's the thing. It's nothing cool. This shit's just funny. There's nothing cool about it.
When something funny happens.
It's just funny, or it's be like, this motherfucker had an audacity, or he thinks I would. That's what makes it funny. But no, other than that, it's, again, I think Mono Skylight's a brilliant writer, but as far as how we look as black people, especially black women, Love and Hip Hop is not a good look.
Absolutely. I agree. It's a long one. Good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
Let the people know where they can find you, sir.
On Twitter, _ Hollywood Kev. On Instagram, it's Hollywood Kev _
At Big Los IG on IG. And of course, at the Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. BeatNetworkOnline.com for all things Beat Network. We hope you guys enjoy the visual podcast.
Yeah,
definitely, again, we ask for it all the time. Feedback. We love the feedback that we got from Kohen Conversations. It's absolutely amazing. So let us know how you feel about this new route that we're going. Obviously, the audio podcast is still going to be available through iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, all the major streaming platforms. But, we want to give something to YouTube because we're really trying to dive into that visual content.
Yeah, absolutely.
So please, feedback.
It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just getting started. It's just so much that we got to reach. So feedback is always appreciated. What can we do better? What can we ease up on? What do you guys want to see? Let us know, and we're going to definitely make sure we deliver. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's the Noize.